Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're going to look at Veru because their announcement has come through that they have finally put the application in for emergency use approval, and basically with the waiting game has officially started, and anticipation of whether they get approval or not is it's there. Like anyone holding shares in this company, in possibly about 2 weeks from the 7th of June, anything could arise. So basically, from 21st of June, and any announcements could come at any time. Basically, the CEO estimated that I think he thought it would take about 2 to 3 weeks. So potentially, it could be any time this month, if not start of next month. So basically, like it's officially started the waiting game of whether this gets approved because so much just depends on this, particularly with the stock. The stock is at $13.12, and it's fallen quite a bit since when the announcement actually came through. When the announcement came through, the price was like 13.5, and it jumped over $16. So basically, there was a lot of excitement, but in the absence of any news, it's just kind of sold down, which is sometimes normal with these stocks. So people just trade it out, take profits as well, because they kind of expect, hey, if this is going to take 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to take our profits and we're going to go do something else with the profits in the meantime. And basically, like that's what happens to the share price in that time. But the main thing is for anyone that just believes in the company, just hold the stock because you don't really have to trade in and out. The larger reward is that approval. So basically, just wait and see, really. So as the title puts, Veru submits emergency use application for FDA approval for sabizilin. That's basic. So I think most people are probably up with the whole game. That the phase 3, COVID clinical trial results came out very, very positive, which demonstrated sabizilin reduced 55% reduction in deaths in hospitalized COVID-19 patients, and they're taking these results and they're basically going around the world right now. So as I said, the company is in discussion with other regulatory agencies around the world regarding emergency use application for sabizilin, including the European Medicines Agency. So that's really, really good news. They're not resting on any laurels, not waiting for the US FDA approval to come through before doing anything else. They are already way ahead of everything and just going at it basically, as with a lot of confidence, as if approval is basically just a pen stroke away. But of course, nothing's actually guaranteed. So until we see pen on paper, there is always that risk that potentially things might not be approved, or there could be massive delays. So that's the risk itself. But if you believe in what the CEO is saying, then he reckons basically approval is a done deal. So basically, the company prepares for US commercial launch if EUA is granted. So basically, so as it's put, they said we are moving as quickly as possible to get this potential treatment to patients, especially submitting this request for EU applications. We have also scaled up manufacturing of sabizilin 9 milligram capsules to meet the needs of patients in the US, and are building our US infectious disease commercial franchise. So that just really tells you everything, that hey, they're going at this with a lot of confidence. Application is through. While they wait, they are not just waiting, they are also scaling up manufacturing, talking with many different regulatory agencies around the world. So overall, really, really positive news. And basically, all this waiting is potentially hopefully leads to a really, really positive and rewarding outcome for everyone. So overall, I think, share price will trend downwards over time, particularly with the absence of news. But at the end of the day, the best reward in investing is when the company actually gets results. Like, there is the other game we can trade in and out of these stocks, and make the difference, and that's very fine for people that want to do that. For me, it's always about investing in companies that are developing and producing value, and that's, for me, what really kind of shines through and actually is more rewarding, especially when you're investing in these stocks, rather than just coming in and then selling out for a quick buck. For me, it's about buying into a company and then waiting for that large reward. But of course, it comes with a lot of risk, particularly with Veru. That, hey, if the FDA approval does not come through, or there's a massive delay, share price might kind of tilt downwards, particularly in this type of market where there's just not a lot of confidence in this type of market, and everyone's just happy to just take their profits, which kind of isn't great on the share price. But once the approval does come through, if it does come through, then basically we're looking at a massive multi-billion-dollar company that is going to have some massive revenues, potentially in the billions, which will be a massive game changer. And basically, anyone holding the stock at that time will be smiling, unless they do something, that could, undermine that. The one thing that can undermine that is then raising a lot of capital right after approval comes through at cheap rates, or potentially they don't scale manufacturing as much as they thought they would, or they sell this drug at a really low pricing, so the revenue numbers actually much lower than previous analysts had thought. So there's many things that still can come in that make this quite risky. But if all things work out and they get approval, manufacturing goes really well, and then they end up selling really well, then this company could be basically, as I've said in the past, the next Moderna, and that's potentially a massive game changer. And yeah, like it's obvious what these guys have to do. It's just a matter of a waiting game right now, and basically, the price is going to be very volatile in that time. So if you're the ones that kind of feel squeamish when it comes to like watching the price just fluctuate, it's you kind of have to get used to it, particularly when you're in stocks. That's just part of the game. Basically, the minute you get used to it over time and you just focus on the fundamentals. So that's kind of what I do. I just focus on the fundamentals. Sometimes I don't actually watch the market, like, even though like I like to watch the market. If there's other things going on in my life, I won't actually watch the market sometimes, just because it's I when I buy a stock, I kind of focus on the fundamentals, and until there's more news on that, I don't actually focus too much on the price itself. And that's my way of investing. Other people have different ways of investing, and that's very fine. Others read charts, others just trade it out of the pricing, or some just take profit as soon as they can and then just wait to buy back when it's lower. And there's many different strategies. My one is to just invest in companies that develop and produce value, and hopefully over time you do get rewarded for that process. And that's basically it. If you've got any questions, post below. Until then, good luck with this thing, everyone.